Hi, Mary. Oh, you're muted and your video is off. Can you start both, please? Hi, Gary. Can everyone unmute and there you go. There's Gary. How you doing?
Hiya. Okay.
That's your new digs, huh?
Yep.
Hi, Mary. How's the neck doing?
The neck hasn't been too good for the last week or so, but I'm going to see the guy tomorrow, so that should help a
Good.
lot.
Good,
Yeah.
good. And you feel fairly settled in?
Yeah, we still have some, unpacked boxes and stuff like that. And then we're going through the boxes. Why did we bring this? Why do we still have this?
Right.
Yeah, but
I'm wondering if we should hold the recording. I'm going to pause. Okay. Recording is in progress. Welcome, everybody. Almost. We'll wait till Gail's here. But Barbara wanted to be here, but she has surgery in the morning, and she said she's just really distracted. So she said I could text her if we didn't have a quorum, but with Gail, we will have a quorum. So
sorry.
we'll be okay. And Stephen Marla had said they couldn't be here. I'm not sure what the story is with Peg.
Yeah.
So I
Haven't
can't
heard.
tell you.
Well,
Yeah.
speaking of surgery, my husband has some heart surgery coming up in 2 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Well, he's just getting a valve repair, but if it turns into a replacement, it is what it is. But he's going to be in Mass General, and so he'll be there for they say 5 days, and then he'll be recovering at home, which for me is the hardest part, him trying to sit still.
they can't put him in some kind of rehab.
No, he just has to take it easy. So
Yeah.
And we have to
Let us
isolate
know
him.
if you need some help with stuff.
Oh yeah, well actually our niece is a 3rd-year nursing student, so we have a
Perfect.
in-house nurse,
Perfect.
almost nurse.
Gail, welcome. We can't see or hear you yet, but we see your name on the screen, and you are make our quorum. So I am going to start the meeting at 7:33. And Tim, you okay with taking notes?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're wonderful. And speaking of which, all right, let me just see how I do sharing here. Let me see. Where is breakout rooms, raise hand, apps? Did they move that? Notes. Huh. That's weird. This is like a new Zoom. Oh, here's share screen. Okay. Let's see.
Okay?
Yeah. Okay. So here's the screen. And let me get some of this out of the way. Wait a minute. Here. Okay.
I do
I'm
was
sorry
nice.
about that. Okay, here are the meeting minutes. So I hope everyone had a chance to look at them. Our last meeting was April 18th. Does anyone have any proposed changes to the minutes? And once again, Tim, you did a wonderful job on them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I vote approval.
It looked
I
nice.
move approval. I move approval, right.
Would someone like to make a motion to accept them then? Or are there any changes at all?
Nope. Sounds like what we talked about.
Okay. Someone make a motion, please.
I make
I
a
moved
motion
it.
to approve the
Yep.
minutes.
Second.
Second.
Second. Third.
All in favor, say aye. Amanda,
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah. Okay,
Aye.
everyone said aye.
Aye.
Right. I am going to stop sharing then. Okay, and we're back. So this meeting was really just to touch base with everyone. And again, Gary, thanking him for all his hard work. And I have our first order of business is just old business, debriefing on trash distribution. But as part of the minutes, though, I'm actually going to look at the action items first. And that will be quick. The first one was Gary contacting Triple T, the composting company, about setting up the school recycling program. And I think at this point, this has to be permanently tabled. Gary is backing off from being the recycling coordinator. Someday we'll have a replacement. And I just think this is low priority for the committee right now. So we can kind of keep it on a back burner, but done. The next one is the hazardous waste company. And that was already done to come get the batteries. So we
That's
just
done,
need to keep an eye on that. And Gary, if you don't mind, would you send me the contact information for them just to
For
make sure?
NLR, sure.
Yeah. Okay, so that's
Yeah.
done, so we can pull it off, but it's kind of one of those things that we just keep an eye on. And then C is the complaint regarding the textile box placement on lot 32. And after some consultation with various parties, the box has been relocated to the highway department yard, and I have heard no complaints about that. So I think that's, I don't know why we didn't just put it there to begin with. It's just such an easy, perfect location. So I'm glad that worked out well, and that's done. Gail?
Because it would have required permission from the highway department.
Yeah, but that's not a big deal.
Okay, but we didn't go there.
Yeah, but anyway, okay, so
Tim didn't want it in the highway department area at first. That's why
I
we
don't
didn't
recall
do
that.
it. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
It's all Tim's fault then. I get it.
It's all Tim's fault.
Nice.
But it's it's really where it should be now.
Yeah, I think it's a really good location because it's on a paved surface.
Yeah.
So, and it's easy to access. It's behind a fence. I think, for all these reasons, but it's still easy to access. It's a good location for it.
And
It
it's
seems to
out
be
of the way of the
working
highway
well.
department operation.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
unplowable, surface.
Yeah.
Because across the street, sometimes you had to go through the snow to get to it.
Yeah.
It's a good place.
Yeah. So D is bag distribution reminders, and then there's a whole bunch of things on there. And I'm just going to summarize it and say they were all done. So this is done. So it can come off in total. But that leads into the number 3 old business, the debriefing on the trash bag distribution. And I actually thought it went really smoothly. I very much like having the Google Docs sign up. I think that works well because everyone can see what's been put in there. We all get the same chance to, of course, I usually put it together with Gary. And so get ours in first because we're piggy that way. But anyway, it works out really well having it in that shared space. And then in terms of the money this year, Gary wasn't that available to pick it up because he was having his ankle surgery, I believe. But it was really not a big deal because I just went and picked it up and then made the deposits and got receipts from town hall. And I think everything went really smoothly. Mary, you weren't as experienced as some of the others with going through the bag distribution. Do you have any thoughts on any issues, or you felt comfortable?
I just felt bad for some folks when it started to rain and they were like, we're in the shed and they're on the outside just getting poured on. So,
well, we do have a tent. So
was it up? I can't remember, but I remember a lot of people
I
getting
think
wet.
Yeah, you would have had to put it up.
Yeah, I think we actually had umbrellas at some point holding them up.
It really takes, 3 or 4 people to put
It's
it
a
up.
major
Yeah,
operation.
it's not a simple. We talked about just having an awning at one point, but we didn't do that, Gail, right? We
Correct.
just ended up with that standalone
Given the construction of the roof and the opening of the door beneath the roof, there just wasn't a possibility for putting an awning on it,
Yeah,
which is why we went to the pop-up tent thing. But the pop-up tent is great for a town meeting, but it's not at all effective really for just a little small, what you want is like a bridal
Yeah,
thing for
Right.
the,
Well, I mean,
and
we
we might
all-
investigate, I don't know, it'd be interesting to know how many times that would have been invoked this past year, for instance, or two. Whether it would be worthwhile to investigate getting a simple one-person install overhead protection.
Get a drive-through window.
yeah.
I know, that's not a bad idea. I wonder if we could do that. I have people driving up to the front, just drive into the front, in front of the open doors and do it through a window.
It would probably take 10 years to retrain people.
Yeah. Well, the other thing I was gonna suggest is if we all sort of just look in our closets and see if we have one or two extra umbrellas. I think I might actually have a large one and just keep them in the shed.
There
And
you
then
go.
we can hand them to people.
There
You
you
know,
go.
that's the most practical idea, I think.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Just
that,
people-
let's add that to the task list. Everyone look and see if
Yeah.
you have an old umbrella.
And send
And-
out a townwide appeal.
Well, no, we don't want to get inundated. All we need is a few. Nah, yeah.
And don't
I
we
mean,
have,
we don't have a
um,
ton of extra room in there anyway.
should
Mary,
we, I'm sorry, squirrel away some bags for people to take the bags away? Cause they were like, oh, I can do it. And they're holding it in their hands. And we're like, no, 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 here, take a bag.
okay, so when we advertise it, we remind people to bring a bag, a
Yeah.
reusable bag. So that's part of our kind of education, in my
Yeah.
opinion, that we don't provide plastic bags because we're trying to get away from that.
Right, yeah.
So maybe just to make really clear when we're putting out the dates, to have in big letters on the announcement, please bring a reusable bag to take your bags home.
Right,
Yeah,
I have put umbrellas in the shed on the to-do thing, but I need a responsible person to make sure it happens.
You can-
I can do umbrellas. I'm
Yeah.
always on the lookout thrifting, you know?
Okay.
We
Your name
only
and
want
your-
like 3 or 4 max. I don't think we want a lot. And I might have a big old golf umbrella that I don't use if I can find it. I am not a pack rat though, so I very easily could have chucked it. But if I haven't chucked it, I'd be happy to bring that one.
We'll keep a lookout.
Yeah, I think I have at least one. So let's not get too many. That's all I'm saying.
Okay,
But if you want to locate 1 or 2, keep us posted. If actually, that wouldn't hurt to just send out a quick survey to members to say, do you have an extra umbrella? Maybe I'll do that. I'll just send out a quick survey.
and we
Good
all
move.
still have our key, so we could just bring it and drop it off.
drop it off, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we want to know ahead of time. Yeah, we
Right.
can do that. But also, I'll just do the
I mean-
survey too.
Who are you sending that to? Just people
Just
on the
recycling committee members. Yeah.
Okay.
What are you doing? Come here. Give me that. No, give me that.
Okay. This is to donate. Oh, the doggy's bad. Okay.
She found a rock.
Well, that's a good thing for a doggy.
Yeah, no, when she swallows them.
Okay. So number 4, now that's a big one. Need for new. Is there anything else though before I move on the trash bag distribution?
When do we start talking about this year's?
So we typically start the distribution at annual town meeting.
Right,
And I'm not sure they've set the date yet.
I think it's April
27th.
27th.
I think it's 27th. Yeah, I saw
April
that.
27th. Okay.
April,
So-
yeah.
So probably beginning of March. Make up the distribution
list, everything.
dates.
What about acquiring the bags?
We have plenty.
So we don't need to buy any more this year?
Oh, yes, we
No.
do.
Right now,
Yeah, we do. I've tried to get Becky on it and we really,
Are
yeah.
you sure? Because we got a double order last
I
year.
know, I know. Go have a look. I was
I'll
there.
have a look. I'll
was
check
there
the
doing
bags and
Yeah.
then talk to Becky.
Did any get left up at town hall after the meeting last year?
Yeah, yeah.
No,
They-
I
they
mean,
keep a
maybe there's
bunch
stuff
up
there
there.
also.
They keep some up there.
No,
Yes.
only one.
Or is it going to be an outdoor meeting again, or are we going to meet in the school?
Not in April.
Not in April,
Yeah,
right?
April, we could have snow.
Yeah. I haven't.
Oh,
I haven't
good. That's
heard.
even better. So we can just keep them in the shed.
Yeah. It's a lot easier.
Okay, so I will check the bags and get to Becky if we need to order more. And I'm gonna shoot for March 1st for sending out the sign-up sheet for trash bag distribution.
Do we still have enough of those kitchen composters and the outdoor composter?
So we get those through, well, the outdoor compost bins we have to order, but I don't think we went through all the ones last year. They weren't moving that fast.
There are 3 or 4 left.
That's it?
Yeah. I just sold one the other day, so there are 3 or 4 left.
Oh, okay.
How did you sell one the other day from Montague?
eBay.
I I drove over and met
Oh.
somebody there.
Really?
All
Oh,
right.
that's
Had to
cool.
go, had to go over
Wait,
anyway. I mean, the old
which-
house has to be
which,
cleaned out.
Which,
So did you
which
leave
bins
the
were you
cash in
talking
the
about?
shed or did you take it up to town hall?
Tim, the
Oh,
kitchen.
I'm taking it up to
Kitchen?
town hall. Yeah, yeah.
You took it up to town hall?
Not yet. I was waiting for the co-op. And now I have the co-op money, and so I'll take it all up.
Above and beyond.
Okay. Now, can you, when you go to the co-op, will you give them my name and number to have them call me when they're out? Is that
You
typically what
want,
you do?
you want to be doing that? I can continue to do that for a while.
If you want to.
Yeah, I don't mind.
All right, so Gary.
You know,
Yeah.
while you're at it, Gary, could you continue being the recycle coordinator for a while?
He is, he is. But
Only-
that's, okay,
Only until somebody else takes the job, right?
so nothing else on the trash bag distribution though? Is that,
I don't think so.
Just to be
Okay.
clear, Meryl, are you gonna
Yeah.
be looking to order kitchen bins or just gonna check on the status?
I'm gonna check on the status. If we need compost bins, then I'll ask Becky to order them. The kitchen compost buckets, I believe were only ordered through a grant, weren't they? Or do we
Yeah,
just?
that was a separate thing.
Yeah, so we don't normally have access to that unless through a grant, is that correct?
And then the other thing is that in the spring, at some point, we'll be getting a message from Jan and Mean
Yeah.
about getting recycling bins.
Blue bins, yeah,
Yeah, blue bins.
and we'll want to order some.
We'll want to order some of those. Yeah.
Now, can you get in touch with her and have her just, how does she get in touch with you?
Email.
So can you email her and actually just have her email both of us?
Sure.
What's the person's name again?
Jan, Jan, Amin, A-M.
Amin, Ameen.
She's from the
Thank you.
Franklin County Solid Waste District. And they do a regional bulk order.
Yeah. So we get them at a good price.
Good to know.
What about the stickers? Did people like the stickers last year?
Oh, yeah, those have done very well. And that's when, at what point do we need to touch base with them? I usually remind you of that.
Yeah.
So that's,
I would
like
say,
that.
well, she usually doesn't get them until maybe end of May, early June for the following year. So, you know, we won't have anything to get before then. But she knows. I mean, as we get a little closer, I've always just emailed her
Yeah.
and said, how are we doing for stickers? And she says they're on order, should be here, next time. She's very
Gary,
good.
it would be really helpful to me if you would make me just a list of the contacts, names, email, phone number for the people that you deal with for these various things. Would you be willing to do that?
Of
I mean, it's
course,
a lot
good
fewer than
idea.
it used to be because we're not doing bulky waste. So,
And,
But you know
and a
what?
calendar.
You're sliding into the recycling coordinator job.
no, but I need to just be aware of things though. I need to back it up.
Absolutely. Yep.
Deal?
And on a calendar, so that in March you do such and such, in June you do so and so, yeah.
Oh, that'd be a nice way to do it.
That's a good, yeah, put it on it. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Do it monthly. That's still covered under your coordinator duties and you're still getting paid, so we're taking advantage of that. And speaking of recycling coordinator though, so Mary, you never did respond to me. Oh, she's hiding now.
Sorry, it was pocket now.
Meryl, when you guys were talking about stickers, you were talking about
Lever
the
transfer station stickers.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
So
oh,
I
that
would-
was not clear. Okay.
oh, I was talking about the recycling sticker that people like put on their
Yeah.
bins. Yeah, they like those.
Oh, okay. Well, those are a grant also, so we don't just get those. It has to be
Oh, okay.
available through a grant. So Gary, you'll have
Well,
to
actually,
include
they're-
that if you could put on that calendar, when the grants come up, which grants we apply for. That'd be really helpful.
Well, there's one from the MRF that's free stuff.
Yeah,
And that comes up in the spring at some point, but it varies. I mean, they just let us know, and then,
yeah, we don't need to know all this now, but if you would
right,
really
right.
spend some time thinking about all the names, the contacts, the grants.
Well, no,
Anything else?
I knew I had to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be really helpful. And
You know what, I wouldn't mind getting together with Gary to help him put that together. I mean, if he wanted to sit down and I could sit with a notebook or with a spreadsheet and make it up, I'd be glad to help.
Thank you. That's really nice.
Yeah,
I think let me sort of make a draft.
okay,
And
yeah,
see
email
if I
me.
can
And
remember what happens during the year.
you know what, even if you offline, you can send me an email or something like, hey, can you put this in the spreadsheet? And I can help with it,
That would
I'm
be-
good at doing those SOP things,
That
Thank
would
you,
be great.
Mary.
no problem.
Thanks.
But I started to say though, Mary, I never heard back from you when I said, were you interested in the recycling?
I know, I'm
coordinator
sorry, the
thing?
holidays came and
Yeah,
all that. You know
yeah.
what, with, like I had said before, my husband's having surgery in a couple weeks and
Just too much.
at this time, I don't know what I can commit to because,
Sure.
he may be a 6-week recovery, could be, it depends a lot. So adding
Okay,
another stress in the house right now might just make me go bonkers.
Right.
But I
Sure.
would gladly help on any projects that we have going, like the umbrellas or helping Gary put some like an SOP book together.
well, we'll
And I can revisit it when things calm down.
okay, and we'll keep trying to find someone outside the committee because no one on the committee is jumping at this opportunity.
Yeah.
I will say that I've talked with Mary Ann, librarian, about it, and she put it on her Facebook page that we're looking, and she had a couple of people in mind, but so far no one's bit there. And I have a call into Paul Lyons that at our special town meeting next week, if I could take a minute to put it out to the crowd there that we're looking for someone and see if I can get any interest there. It has been advertised on Nextdoor Shutesbury and on the town announce. But so far, nothing. So we'll just keep trying. I suppose if worse came to worse, we could all just kind of share some of the responsibilities when Gary gets really sick of it and until we can find someone.
And maybe, like you said, we can all take apart and see what we are comfortable with. Almost
and-
make like subcommittees, like trash bag subcommittee, waste subcommittee,
I mean, but I'm pretty
a
familiar
question.
with, yeah,
You know, when Gary sat down and explained to me all that he does, my gut reaction was, obviously it's not a volunteer job, but that it's the stipend is way low. I mean, to put up with complaints, try to coordinate the communication, to be on top of all of this information like Gary is. I don't think they're going to find people to do that on a $2,000 a year stipend. I'd like us to discuss or consider maybe that needs to be changed. I think it sounds like a hell of a lot of work, you know?
Well,
What do you think?
I also think the task list is daunting, and it really overstates a lot of stuff. So Gary's taken everything further than some of the basic things that need to be done, and we really appreciate that he's done that, but it doesn't have to all be done. And I mean, I don't disagree with you that it should be paid more, but I think that it's more about the volunteer part of it. Someone who really cares about the environment's willing to do the work. So, I mean, if we have no luck finding that person, then we maybe have to go talk to the personnel board and see if they would consider increasing it.
One thing I should say is that I was reluctant, unable actually, to take the job until I retired. And I think that might be the case because it's pretty much a volunteer position with a small stipend, and the stipend doesn't really, I don't think it's not the kind of thing that will attract people to the
Right.
job.
Right.
I agree. It's a token.
Yeah, it's a token, and it's nice that the town does it, and yet I wanted to do this, and when I retired, because I've been on the committee, Marilyn and I have been on the committee since it was formed, and once I retired, I thought, okay, I can do it now, and I really have, for the most part, enjoyed it. Except when the
Who
bags didn't
wanted to
come in.
do it was Liz Lacy, and then she moved out of town.
That's
Okay.
right.
She was ready to do it.
Yeah.
Gail?
I think something that's really daunting is the issues we've had with the haulers these last few weeks. I mean, if it snows, if it rains, it's like 7 a.m. on Tuesday. It seems like things are coming in on next door. Are they coming when they're not coming? And that seems like a huge stressor.
Yeah, but a lot of that is the responsibility of the town administrator. I mean, Gary will send out some notices, but she's getting most of the phone calls. Gail, did you want to say something?
Yes, I think the key to the position, and that Gary has made this such an important part of our town operation, is his willingness and eagerness and enjoyment in meeting the people. This is not just to perform these tasks job. It is a face to the people in our town and helping them.
Yeah.
And somebody who would enjoy that. That's the key.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that I'll mention that when I'm talking about the position.
Because it really is a good way to meet people. It's like, who would have thought that that distributing trash bags could be fun?
Well, that's really is fun. I think
But it
that's
is
one of the
fun.
most fun.
I enjoy it. I meet people. I talk to new people. It's
It's a social enterprise, yeah.
yeah.
We didn't want to have to stop bulky waste day because that was so much fun, but it was so much work. And we're all having trouble heaving the sofas. But not that I did that. But I hear you. It is a really nice way to interact with people in town. And yes, sometimes it's not in the happiest form, but many times it is in a positive way. And it can start off negative and become positive. So that's
I think,
part of it.
my experience is that as long as people
Come here.
realize that that you're trying to fix things, that you're trying to make it work.
Right.
Then they don't, then they're really responsive.
Yeah.
And then, it's really very rarely, if ever, the town's fault. that something happened.
So
Um,
Meryl, with that buildup, it sounds like you're ready to take the job.
Yeah, thank you. No, unless you want to be chair. No, you probably would. No, but I'm happy to help. And again, I think that this is something that we can take some of the load off the recycling coordinator by other people stepping in to do some of the things that Gary did. And some of it, he's done long enough that I would think the grants you can, provide samples of what you've done so that it's not reinventing the whole thing. And
I would like to actually sit down with
right,
the next person who does the grant, and just because it's fairly complex, and then they keep changing the ground rules for it,
right,
and so
right.
it's it can be a pain.
Well,
Gary-
in your list that you make up, would you also, I hope you're writing this stuff down, Gary, but would you
Yeah.
include some of the contact people, the key contact people that you've gone to for help, like from DEP or wherever?
Well, Susan, Wade, and
Yeah,
so forth.
right.
Yeah, sure.
Gary, do you have I don't think you do, but do you have a deadline where you, for whatever reason, want to be sure that you're free of any responsibility? Or,
No, I don't.
okay,
Excellent.
And to be honest, I don't. And we still have our house in Shutesbury, and
Yeah.
and so I do think that it's important for the recycling coordinator to be a Shutesbury resident. I think that really just, I think, means a lot more to people when you're contacting them about why their trash isn't getting picked up, and because or I can say mine didn't either, or something like that. But I think it is important to have a recycling coordinator who's a Shutesbury resident. But you know, I don't want to lay this on anybody by without conversations, without and the stuff that I'll write up, and conversation, and maybe, like I say, when the next grant round comes around, actually sitting down with the person and doing it together, because this
Yeah,
retract
right.
stuff is complicated.
So does anyone have any contacts in town of people that they think might be interested in this position?
Well, I was just thinking, we have this relationship with the Leverett transfer station, and I know they have some employees there. I mean, Leverett's kind of like right next door. I wonder if there's anybody there. I mean, they don't live, but then literally live on the border, could we extend it, see if there's anybody there? I know there's Pat and there's the other lady, I forget her name. But there's people there that are kind of in that realm.
I mean, I feel like we should stick with a Shutesbury resident if we can.
If we can.
If we get
Yeah.
totally desperate, I suppose that's another avenue. But
there's a really, really nice guy on our road here, young guy, named Nate. I don't know if any of you know him.
I just met him today.
By
Because
coincidence, really?
no, he wrote me something about buying a compost bin. So I met him online.
Nate's an interesting guy. He's done a lot of volunteer work, like videoing library meetings and stuff like that. And I know he's environmentally very interested in things. It just occurred to me while we were talking that he could be a possibility.
if you could reach out to him, and feel free to give him either Gary or mine or both of our names and numbers if he's at all interested. But I will say thank you, Gail. I asked her to post a recycling coordinator position description, job description on the town website. So you could also direct him there to take a look at that and then call us. And both of well, Gary, in fact, his current, you're not keeping your old phone number, are you, Gary? You don't have that
No.
still working? No, so
No.
Gail, that
And I
needs to
asked Gail to
change
change it on the website. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is your new one up there? Your mobile?
Yep.
Oh, okay, thank you. So then that's fine. So both of our contact information is on there. So if you talk to Nate and he's at all interested, please have him check there and let us know, because I can follow up with him if you give me his contact info too. I'd be happy to talk to him and reach out. But you know, this is
hasn't-
what it's gonna do to find someone, is that all of us think of anyone we might know who could be interested. Like I said, I contacted Mary Ann and she put the feelers out to some of the people she knew, but so far no takers. But she also going away she's in Costa Rica for 17 days, so that doesn't help. But when she gets back, she'll probably be willing to try again, although she's got a pretty full plate. But all of us just need to keep asking anyone we know, and I'm maybe I'll get lucky at the special town meeting when I talk about it there and see if I can get some interest. We just need one person.
It's a great committee to be on, and you know, and if we can't find anybody, then we can look at how it might be possible to split up the tasks.
Yeah.
You know, maybe one person can do the
On a
grant.
sort of but not that related item, Gail, you had posted the weekly trash pickup schedule and solid waste pickup schedule, recycling and trash schedule.
Mhm.
And the one that we got directly from Casella was very hard to read, I found. The numbers were
Yes.
small. The one that Gail did is so much better. I wonder if we could get Casella to just do it in that format. Probably not.
Don't go there.
Yeah,
You don't
I
mind
thi-
doing it?
Um,
And to judge from the kind of stuff we've been getting from Casella, we better do it ourselves.
Yeah. That's a
Is there
little disappointing.
Is their contract coming up anytime soon, or was it a
We just
multi-year?
hired,
27.
27?
Yeah.
we just hired them. And actually, I don't think it's fair to diss them that much. It's new for them to be working here.
Right.
They did make a definite screw up when they changed the dates on
Yeah.
two of the dates weren't pushed ahead a day. That was a major screw up that they didn't tell us. I would like to think they're not going to do that again. I sure hope. And the snow stuff, I mean, that really can't be helped too much.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I thought they've been doing a fairly decent job. They've had some vehicle
Yeah.
problems. But
Yeah.
Hold on,
Yeah.
she's chewing on
Yeah.
something. I'll be back.
Yeah.
Plus, you know,
Yeah.
when they were hired,
Gail has
there
her
weren't
hand
that
raised.
many
Just a second.
alternatives.
Tim, Gail had her hand raised. Just a sec. Go ahead, Gail.
The fact that they changed the schedule is between Casella and the town. So that's standard as it is. The fact that they went back to no holidays makes it much easier for them. And actually, it makes it much easier for us. It's simply every Tuesday, every Wednesday. This is it.
Mhm.
So that's fine. For us then to translate it to 2 different schedules because of Tuesday schedule and Wednesday, that's fine. That's us. And I think it's gonna just make confusion if we ask them to do that.
Yeah, that's
Their
fine.
schedule is the schedule between Casella as an organization and the contract town, and that's straightforward.
And did they send that to you, Gary, or to the schedule? Did they send
They
it to
send
you?
it- They send it to, well, the original one, they sent to me and to Becky. And then I send it on to Gail and say, do your magic. And she does her magic, and it's very readable. And the only problem is when they don't tell us when they make a change.
Yeah.
My guess is they won't change this. I mean, they've got
I don't
how many
think so.
towns to do,
Got a
and
lot
once
of
they get a schedule in place, then it's straightforward for them.
Yeah.
It's a very smart move on their part. They just should have told us.
Right.
Well, and what I understood was that this one thought that one told, that one thought that one told, so they were all
Right.
pointing the fingers and it. So ultimately, though, it's really Kyle or whoever's the main point person for Casella who needed to let us
Yeah.
know, and they did not.
Whatever.
Yeah, okay. So keep your eyes and ears out for possible recycling coordinators. Tim, I loved your idea of of that person. Did you have something else you wanted to say about that?
No,
Okay. Moving on, the styrofoam collection, should we schedule one? I'm only bringing this up because a resident called me who used to live in another town, and he mentioned that their town once a year would get someone's truck, fill it up with styrofoam, and then take it to Gold Circuit Recycling. And they charge $20 flat fee, no matter how much you bring, is my understanding.
Right.
So I was wondering if we want to do that. I thought I'd bring that up and see if people are enthusiastic about doing that or not.
what's the
Yeah.
alternative?
Trash,
What's the alternative for disposing of it?
Put it
trash,
in trash, yeah.
which is what we've always done. But Gary, did you ever happen to find out if the transfer station ever takes it?
They
Or
don't.
Yeah.
It's trash, yeah.
So what would be the reason of not putting it in the trash? What's the
Keeping
benefit
it
of
out
that?
of the waste stream, you know.
They recycle it.
They actually do. He forms it into 100-pound blocks and sends it to China.
Oh, okay. You said
And then it comes
trash.
back.
And they make all kinds of stuff out of it in China that
Which they sell back to us.
which they sell
Right.
back to us. Yeah.
Well, that's called recycling.
Yeah. I thought I saw something on Facebook or something that Northampton or Amherst was having a day where you could bring your styrofoam. I don't have my phone right next to me, but I thought I saw something locally doing that.
I think that's right. I think they do have a day. Bring your styrofoam. They also have shredding days and things like that. That we tried that actually.
We did that
Yeah.
once. We
Hmm.
got some participation.
Not
It
enough
was
volume
few.
for them.
Yeah.
Not,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
not enough.
wonder how many people would actually set styrofoam aside for long enough.
Well, I think we would get a pretty big load if we got the word out and as to the date and everything well in advance and then reminded people. I'm sure we get a truckload easily.
But would that be a once a year deal or once
Yeah,
a month?
once,
Well, it would be
Once you-
whatever we want to do, but I mean, I was
whatever
using
was
once a
needed.
year,
Yeah.
but I mean, what truck do we use? Do we have to hire a truck? That could be big bucks. Or does someone on the committee want to use their own truck? But then I don't have a truck and I know
don't have a
Tim,
truck.
your truck's not that big, so how much would it actually take, Gail?
Suppose we send out a survey and actually find out from people in town, do you have styrofoam that you accuse? What do you do with it now? Would you be amenable to a 1-a-year collection point for it to be taken en masse to Gold Circuit? Do you have a truck that you would be willing to use to do ask questions like that, find out what we really have.
I wonder if there's a service like we have a bin for the textiles that you drop your styrofoam off on a bin.
That would make
That's
sense. That would make more sense. Because
Except
I'm just
somebody
concerned
would
that
have to come get it.
people don't want to. I'm having trouble imagining people stockpiling foam for a year.
yeah.
I know in my case, that would be a heck of a lot of foam.
You have that much?
Yeah, packages and stuff. And I think it would mount up.
Yeah, I mean, Gail, a survey is a lot of work. And
Yep.
every step of it.
Granted,
And also how you actually reach people in return rates. So I'm not really too big on doing that. I think it's either something we should just try or not do.
another
Yeah.
way would be to have a collection point in the downstairs at Town Hall. That it be collected once a year. And sent off to,
but
Well,
the
Become
town hall,
a fire
town hall right
issue.
now is overflowing with stuff from
Yeah, they
the
won't
police.
agree to that because they don't have much space there. But Gary,
yeah,
since we're not collecting as many bulbs anymore, what kind of space is there in the
We're
Mercury?
not collecting, well, the whole shed's open now.
The whole shed's open, so there's a place.
The whole shed is, I mean, it has crap in it, but it could be cleaned out and we could use it as a, collection place.
collection point.
I could do like internet research on styrofoam collection, see if there is a place that has like a big bin that we could just throw it in and call them.
I think that's the best idea if that's possible.
I mean, I
Should I
can just
put-
look.
Should I
The
put
only
you on
one
the
I
list
know
for
of.
that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
put me on the list for that. And
Wait,
if there
could
isn't,
we-
No,
could we
wait
have
a
one-
second, because
I
Gary's
can't
gonna,
hear you all at once. Could we
Oh,
have one
sorry.
person at a time, please?
yeah, Gary, you want to say,
I just wanted to say that we used to have Gold Circuit come to our bulky waste day. And he would get a lot of what I thought was a lot of styrofoam. The people really do have styrofoam they want to get rid of. And if they know they can't recycle it, it often just sits in the garage for a while and waiting for, to be able to break it up, put it in the trash. So it would be, it's great to recycle it. And I think that people would respond. It's just the mechanics of it. Where do you put it? And who takes it, whose truck, and that kind of stuff.
I think the shed as a storage location would probably work. The problem is trucking it to Gold Circuit.
Yeah.
And I doubt that we could ask the highway department to truck it for us.
Oh, yeah, that,
No, I don't think so.
no,
So then if we don't ask the highway department, we really don't have a big truck to take it. And we don't want to be storing that forever. Gail?
let me go back and look at, we kept records on all the bulky waste day. To see what the volume actually is. Actually, it doesn't have the volume.
No.
can't
it
imagine
doesn't.
that it was-
But I in those days, I helped the guy load up the following day. And we would get 4 or 5 big bags of styrofoam. It was amazing.
More than
It
a
wasn't-
pickup truck worth?
He had a huge truck with a lift and everything, yeah.
Oh, boy.
But he was
And he
also
filled that
taking,
truck?
he
Did
was
fill
also
that
also
truck?
taking the electronics at the same
Okay.
time.
Right. So that's what the bulk of the stuff was, the electronic.
Right.
I wonder what UMass does. They have a
My
huge,
guess is they throw it away, but I can find out. I can find out what they do.
Well, the big question, I just threw that out there. Is this something that we want to pursue? Sounds like people do.
Yes.
I could go either way. I don't think it's a great critical issue, and I don't know. I mean, to me, if they're collecting the styrofoam to then send it to China, that doesn't sound that environmentally helpful anyway. To me,
That's right. That's right.
is what
so I
it
mean,
is.
maybe we shouldn't really worry about it, but I just wanted to throw it out there.
I think a lot of people do online ordering. You get all these packaging stuff, and I think people think like, I hate to put this in the trash, and it is a large thing and it's going to take up a lot of space in the, in the landfill. Where it ends up, whether we agreed it's ethically or good or not to send it back to China, well, at least it's in a system that it's not in the landfill. My 2 cents.
I would suggest, my own opinion is that I like Mary's idea of exploring the possibility of a stationary bin that people bring it to. I don't like the other ideas I've heard though. So my vote would be to ignore it unless we can establish a collection point similar to the one we do for textiles now.
Well,
And
And actually,
and-
if we could find out if Amherst or some of the surrounding communities are doing collections, if Shutesbury were allowed to participate, that would be another alternative. And I
let
most in
me
favor of that
let
one.
me contact Susan Wade
Okay,
and find out, because she'll know.
Yep.
can you just send us out a group email and let us know then
Sure.
what you find out, Gail?
I was just gonna say that as an individual, if there's a choice between tracking it to Gold Circuit or tossing it in my trash, it's gonna go in my trash. I don't
Well,
have
it
that
wouldn't be
much.
You taking it to Gold Circuit, though, it would be
Right.
collecting it in town.
Correct. So it would
I
be
think-
the travel and the cost, as opposed to just knocking it into little pieces and putting in my trash. It's a no-brainer.
Well, and Mary, what you said about all the stuff, I must say, I do a lot of online ordering.
Yeah,
I get very little styrofoam. I get a
Anymore.
lot of the plastic
oh,
bubbles.
those things,
with
yeah.
air. And those are recyclable. I just let the air out of them and then take them
Yeah.
with the bags to Big Y and.
I
put 'em
think
in.
electronics have a lot of, like Fragile stuff has a lot of the styrofoams, like laptops and things and such.
And ice cream.
Things with screens.
Yeah,
what?
yeah. I just don't get that much of that. So
Yeah.
I don't experience it. But yeah, TVs, all that stuff. I don't buy too much of that. Okay, so it looks like there's some interest still in this, Mary. You're gonna, I
I'll
guess, for
just-
action items, you'll look into some of the stationary stuff. Gary's gonna check with Susan Waite and see if there are some collections in the area that we could glom onto. Is that what you're gonna ask her? Gary?
Yeah, and I'm gonna also contact Jan Amin for the same reason.
Okay, that'd be great.
Yeah,
And when you talk to Jan, please have her CC me on stuff too.
okay.
Okay, styrofoam. The next one is, Gary, you wanted to talk about the lithium ion flammability issue with battery recycling.
Well, I had a webinar from the DEP, and it was about batteries mainly, and the lithium ion batteries have been causing fires all over the country.
Right.
They really are have become a menace because many of them are much larger. The electric bikes, for example, have big lithium ion batteries, and then there are tiny things like your cell phone has a lithium ion battery in it. And so the question is, how do we prevent these fires? Because if the terminals of the batteries uh, are open and they touch each other, they can light a spark. And I actually saw a video of a big old NLR truck or something like that catching on fire in the back and burning the whole truck up. So anyway, what I'm thinking is, we have battery collection downstairs in town hall. Don't want a fire there. So I'm thinking that what we need to do is have a sign, and also, remember in the old days, Merrill, we had baggies in the for batteries, not alkaline batteries, but rechargeables and lithium ion. And I am willing to invest in some bags and put them down there for people. But they're saying, I mean, what I heard in the webinar is that the standard now is that for every battery, every little battery, lithium ion anyway, needs its own baggie.
Hmm.
And I don't know that that's
It
necessary.
seems like the opposite of what we're trying to do. I mean,
Yeah.
they are all in thick plastic buckets, closed.
That's
thick
true.
plastic
That's
buckets.
true. But I
To
think
me,
that
if there was anything that caught fire, well, I suppose it could melt the whole thing down, but
well,
The,
that's
I
the
use
problem.
I have a lot of lithium ion batteries for the radio controlled boats I build.
Mm.
And, they're 12 amp batteries. So these are big things. And when I transport them or store them, I buy special bags that are made, fireproof bags to keep them in. The biggest problem with lipos is not actually the batteries, it's people.
Mhm.
They just don't pay attention to what they're doing and do stupid things with them, to be honest. So
Yeah.
if the concern is about fires at town hall, I would urge that we buy special battery bags. You don't think you need one per battery, but like the ones I use will probably hold six 9-amp batteries easy. And they're warranted to be fireproof if anything happens.
Are they in separate sleeves?
No,
Or
you
it's
just
you can
just
put,
dump them all together.
put
Yeah.
5 of them in a bag, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I used to do waste management down at Bay State and then at Cooley, whenever we had batteries, we just used a non-conductive electrical tape to cover each of the contacts.
I was just gonna say, that's the other thing
That
that
was
I
easy.
learned in the seminars, that you just use some tape.
And non-conductive, you can't use duct tape because that is
yeah.
conductive.
Yeah.
So
you
you
Is
just
just
electrical
use-
tape?
A
conduct-
black, green, as long as it's non-conductive,
Right.
and you just cover up the
So just
terminals.
electrical tape, regular
just
old
That
black
sounds
electrical
like
tape.
a much better option to me.
And you cover the terminals, and that's,
Yep.
yeah,
Individually, so.
So if we made a little sign and bought some of that tape and said, whoever's disposing of a battery,
cover your
cut off a
terminal.
piece of the tape, cover the terminals.
right.
And
And
then put
that's,
it in
and
the
that's good.
bucket. I think
Yep.
that's a much better solution than generating 4,000 plastic bags.
Well, I
And
think that's
even
right.
even if you
Yeah.
have to make like a poster with pictures on it, like this is how you cover this battery, this is how you do a NiCad, this is how, I mean, I mostly did it for the lead acids, but we did it for the lithium ions too.
Anyone want to volunteer to do that, to make up a poster?
I can do it. I
That
can
would-
do low stress things that I can do while my husband's recovering.
Right.
All right, well, why don't you draft something, if you wouldn't mind, send it to me and both of us, send it to all of us to take a look at.
Yeah.
Okay,
Send it out to the recycling committee and ask for feedback if you wouldn't mind, and
sure,
then.
no problem. I might have to just take some stock pictures because I don't think I have any
Yeah.
pictures here, but I could just say stock picture or something.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
oh, that'd be great. And then, Gary, do we have available budget that we could just buy some tape and scissors to leave there?
Well, we have the
Revolving fund.
yeah, we have the revolving fund, but
We could just
that-
ask Becky to buy it for us, and we're
Yeah,
not
just-
talking about a lot.
let's go buy it.
We probably have 10
Okay.
rolls in our garage I could
I mean,
donate.
it's, what, a couple of rolls of electrical tape and a little scissors, right? I mean, I'll buy it. I'll do it. I'll get that.
I'll go look in the garage. I'm sure we have plenty.
I might have some electrical tape too, actually. Okay, we got that covered. Great, thank you. And you're comfortable with that, Gary? Because
Yep.
that seems like a better solution.
Well, I think so too. They were talking about, the woman who was giving the webinar was talking about it, a bag for every battery, even every little,
That's crazy.
and I thought that was a little extreme. But what we used to do in the copy room, we had the bags right there, and people would put, 5, 6, 7, and then put them in. Then it goes to NLR, and they have to take everything out of the bags, but they'd
Right.
rather have it in the bags because of the fire hazard. And so, but if we had this other thing going on, it would be, I think, equally effective and a lot less polluting. We
Now,
wouldn't
do
have a-
button batteries need to have any tape on them, or are they just okay?
the what?
Button batteries.
Button battery.
Button batteries? I don't think so. I don't think those are lithium ion, are they?
I think
I'm
it-
not sure.
Button batteries?
I think some of them are lithium, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I could look, but I think the contacts on them are different than like a regular battery, but I can look.
I don't even think
Yeah.
there are contacts. It's
I
just a
know.
round thing on
No.
the back and a bigger round thing on the top.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Cover both ends.
Well, I'd rather not put tape if it doesn't need it. Again, they're in a thick plastic, closing bucket. So
Well, that-
that's some
That wouldn't mean
protection.
anything if they really got going.
Right.
If they moved in transportation.
Right, right.
All right, anything else? Other is our last item.
Can I just ask, did we
Anything.
find any more information about that radioactive waste?
Yes, and unfortunately, uh, the the person who put the second radioactive waste in the trash was following his doctor's orders. Because, and I went up, I looked online to see what the standard was for putting this stuff in the trash. And it says after 90 days, it's okay to put it in the trash. However, this was a new kind of
Radioactive isotope.
yeah, of something, and the doctor told him 90 days, and the guy waited 90 days, but it wasn't sufficient. And so I urged Becky to call the doctor and tell him that this is what happened, and to find out whether it, what time it really, how much time it really needs. And so anyway, that's where we are with that.
Do we have any
Um,
knowledge whether she did follow up and call the doctor?
no, no, I don't know.
Want to put money on it?
Only if I get the vote I want.
Yeah.
So it was
We
medical.
haven't had a problem since then, though.
No, no, we haven't.
So
And the first one?
Nobody
never
knows.
really.
It was a very strange thing. It was
Those two.
the address that we got was a young couple who didn't have any issues
Or
at all.
clues about where it could have originated.
Pardon me?
Yeah, or clues of where it could have
Or clues of where it
originated.
originated.
No idea.
We just don't know.
Well,
Hmm.
Gary, I mean, to me, this is something that when you're talking to Susan Waite, this is something that should happen at the DEP level. They should make outreach to doctors
Mm.
to
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
them how to safely handle this.
absolutely.
So when
And
you speak with her, will you bring that issue up and yeah,
and they
we'll see
need,
if they can do some education.
yeah, the thing is that medical treatments keep changing. And this one, for example, that I was mentioning, 90 days was sort of the, everyone accepted 90 days, then it can go in the trash. Well, this new treatment needed more than 90 days, but the doctor didn't know, and nobody told him. And that's so we've got to be able to give them feedback when something like this happens.
They need to know, yeah.
How was the material discovered?
They have a sensor at the
They have a sensor at the when it goes into the
cellar
landfill.
when the
Yeah.
train, when the truck goes through.
When the truck goes,
Picked up by this
and then
sensor.
they have to stop everything. They bring in a guy from the state who has to go through every,
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Cost
with
a
a Geiger
fortune.
counter,
Cost the town a fortune.
and it costs $1,000 to the town for the state guy, and then it costs, what is it, 300 for every day that the truck is out of action.
I wonder
So
if a newsletter article would be good about that. As long
I'm
as you keep it really vague.
I'm going to do it. I'm not going to, in fact, I've been collecting. It's not just radioactive waste either. It's hard to, it's more like hazardous waste that you may not know what to do with, like sharps, for example. There's a sharps program in Amherst, but people don't know about it.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm my last my last one for the newsletter. It's going to be about
So he says,
hazardous medical waste.
Excellent.
that'd be great. And I'm happy to go over that with you and
Oh yes, I would send it around. Yep.
yeah, that's great. Anything else people would like to bring up? Going once,
No.
twice. Well, thank you for coming. I'm glad we had a quorum and
Yes. Good meeting.
didn't have to get Barbara in here as a silent partner. Okay, well, thank you all then. And Tim, when you can get draft minutes out, that'd be good. to get them out and to me, and we'll be in touch. I don't,
Do you want a
plan on
motion to adjourn?
well, let's first talk about, so we March 1st. If it's okay with everyone, what I'd like to do is just send out the spreadsheet for the signups for our trash bag distribution days without having a meeting first, and then meet once before we start, like maybe early April, before we start the distribution at the end of April, to make sure everyone's on the same page. Does that work for
Okay.
everyone?
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, a motion would be lovely.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye, aye.
All right.
Thank you all for coming, and sorry
All
about
right.
half hour
Thanks
later.
a lot.
Thank you all.
No
Good night,
problem.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. And
Bye-bye.
enjoy your puppy.
Oh, yeah. You should see the pile of stuff I collected during the meeting here that I got out of her mouth.
It's something to keep you very busy when you, good
Oh,
luck with
yeah.
your husband too.
Yes, that's gonna not be
Hope he
fun,
does
but
well with
you
this.
know, it is what it is. He's gonna go to Mass General and you
Yeah.
might be there 5 days and, you know, he doesn't like to sit still.
Scary too, so yeah.
He's a bit scary, you know, like I said, our niece is third year nursing student, so she kind of
Great.
can help him out, but he's just kind of wigged out about that they stop your heart and have to go bypass it.
Oh, wow.
And
Yeah. Well,
she's,
yeah,
yeah, I'm like, you can't
serious stuff.
work on it when it's moving. But
Right.
she made a good point. She's like, everybody in that room in Mass General is world class. They're getting
Right.
paid hundreds of thousands of dollars each. You know,
Yeah.
this is not,
No,
you know,
you got
Jiffy Lube.
the really good hospital to do it, so that's.
yeah. It's a trek, and we're working out my son taking some time off to help with the animales here. We have this living zoo. Plus we have 4 cats too,
Oh, my word.
and 2 fish. The fish aren't a problem.
Yeah, they're easy.
Yeah.
All right, well, good luck with
All
it
right.
all.
Talk
Yeah.
to you later. Bye
Take
bye.
care. Bye-bye.